March 2nd, 2022. How's it going, guys? Well, I got another video for you. What are we going to talk about today? Well, let's talk about the light and the darkness. Let's talk about good and evil. Let's talk about cult groups and witchcraft groups and church groups. Because not all of them are good. There's a lot of bad ones out there. Now, I'm not affiliated with any YouTube channels. I look and listen to lots of YouTube channels, and I try to take all the good and stick with all the good channels, and I discard all the bad channels. But what we're going to talk about today, like I say, is good and evil, and it does exist. If you ever get a chance, check out Paul Bigley's channel. I think he's got a couple of them there. And I like a lot of stuff that he says. Don't always agree with everything that he says, but I agree with most of everything. And I do believe standing in the light. But, and I believe, like I say, I consider myself a starseed. Now, when we start talking about light workers, the problem with this is, I don't think light worker is the wrong sense of the word, but there's lots of them that are doing bad things out there and belong to bad groups. There's a lot of them here in Kansas City that, you know, there's some major groups here that, I mean, they're not good. And they act like they're good, but they're not. But everything is a give and take on all this. But getting back to this, let's go back to selenite for a second. Selenite disperses all bad negative energy. That's why I like it so much. I mean, you can't go wrong with it. I've actually used it by even some, like what you call shadow people. If they go into someone, if you put a piece of selenite, if you have them hold a piece of selenite on themselves for several minutes, those, what they call shadow people, those other entities, those other dimensional beings, cannot stay in those people. They'll pop out. That's another reason why a lot of these cult groups, witchcraft groups, some of the other church groups don't like anybody showing any of the selenite. They don't like anything because they don't want people to know how to defend themselves. But this will disperse all negative energy. Definitely. Now, let's talk for a few minutes about how once you raise your energy, let's just talk about this for a second. Once you raise your energy, and if you have that ability to be able to feel the good energy from the bad, when you're around certain people, you can actually feel their presence. I mean, it's almost something like, you think of it like this, like Star Wars, Darth Vader. You know, you could feel the evil, the dark force, when good and evil, when it's all going on. Get a chance, check out EE Arts. They talk a lot about these energies. They talk a lot about interdimensional beings. I'm not affiliated with any other YouTube channel. But today I'm going to prove a point. I went up to go to the car wash to wash my car, okay? And I could feel somebody that was behind me. I could feel their energy, but they could feel mine too. And I always throw good light energy out. Now I'll tell you one thing you can use to defeat and usually take them out most of the time. Most shaman, most medicine men, they all agree on one thing. There's one thing that evil can't take, and that's love. Now, Reiki. If you use the love Reiki symbol and you throw it out at somebody, it's not going to do any harm to anybody. It's not doing anything bad. But if they're bad, if they're evil, oh, they'll feel it. I mean, what might feel like a cool, nice breeze to somebody that's good, it might feel like a knife going into them if they're dark and evil. Now, it's a whole nother story. So, I'm up there at the car wash, come out of the car wash. I could feel this guy was in a white truck behind me. But anyway, I threw my energy out. So what do you think he did, guys? He made the devil's symbol with his hand. He made the devil's horns with his hands. Now I'm going to show you that in a minute. I'm going to get back to the laptop. I'm outside right now. But just to prove a point. And there are so many groups here in Kansas City you wouldn't believe. I mean, there's two big witchcraft neo-Nazi groups here in the Kansas City area. I mean, huge. And they have an event, a big one. You know, like when San Calagon is out in Independence, they usually have a big event about that same time. And out there on the Kansas side over there. And they all get together in their circles and different things and stuff. So, but that's not the half of it. There's church groups, Unity, Church of the Resurrection. They use this energy too. They work it. They pull energy from people to try to figure they can use it for themselves and stuff. So you have to understand. And anybody coming in, when E-Arts talks about, I like E-Arts because they're legit. They talk about things straight out and stuff on all this stuff. Because you need to understand there's not hardly anybody around that's going to tell you that. And even I'm telling you that. You know, I mean, bottom line, you have to understand. So, if you do have this ability, understand you can't be very trusting in that sense around people. And if they, you know, because they're looking to grab anybody that's got pure energy and pull that energy away from them, which isn't good. And I mean, I've messed with these people now for about, oh God, at least a good 10 years now with this stuff going on like this. And they like to pull energy. They like to do different things like that. But just like this, what's going on right now on this planet, this is a battle between good and evil. Bottom line. And in reference, you can say light and darkness. But also remember one thing. All dark entities are not bad. So it's just like what we've been raised around in the sense. So that's not all true, but it's just a phrase, of words that we've been brought up by and stuff. But, like I say, the fight between good and evil, and we'll say light and darkness, just so it makes it easier for everybody. But, like I say, I want to show you guys this, and just let everybody know. I stand in the light, and I fight for the good. But, like I say, also one other thing, I will say one thing, and we'll get back to the entities and light beings and interdimensional beings that E-Arts talk about. But, it's just it's a hard thing to try to explain if you don't have the knowledge, in the sense, and haven't been around it for very long. You can't just you can't explain all this in just one one meeting, put it that way. It takes there's a lot that interconnects all of it. Maybe that's the best way I'm looking to say. Anyway, so hold on, guys, and you'll get to see the guy making the devil horns with his hand behind me. So hold on. Okay, guys, I'm up there, went up to Raytown, went to their little car wash up there. I wanted you guys to see this. Now, look at this vehicle behind me. And this guy, he's going to make the devil's horn sign with his hands here shortly. Now, watch up there in the window. Right there. You see that? He could feel my energy too. So just remember, guys, there's a lot to learn about this energy. And I recommend, like I say, checking out EE Arts. They can explain a lot about all this. And like I say, I'm going to do several other videos too about this energy and about also more protection stones and stuff too again. But if you keep your energy, get your energy high enough and you don't let them pull you down or anything, there's nothing they can do anyway, because their energy only goes so far. But anyway, guys, just another little video, and stand in the light. Have a good one, guys.